This week, the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series sees the return of Joey Saldana, and what a return it was! Plus, the Outlaws make their fall return to Lernerville Speedway for the Commonwealth Clash. And the Dirt Car UMP Late Models take on the Prairie Dirt Classic in Fairbury, Illinois. This and more next on this week's edition of 4 Wide Weekly. This week's edition of 4 Wide Weekly kicks off at Hartford Motor Speedway with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series and the return of the Brownsburg Bullet Joey Saldana. The fans of Hartford, Michigan, very happy to see the return of the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. And starting on the pole, you got it, after winning the dash, it's Joey Saldana in the Red Bull number 9, and he would jump right out to the race lead ahead of Donnie Schatz and Tim Schaefer. Steve Kinzer in the Bass Pro Shops 11. He was on the move early on, diving to the inside of Schaefer out of corner number 4. Later on in the back straightaway, Craig Delansky, the Big Game Tree Stands number 7 machine. He found the outside of the speedway, working to the outside of Paul McMahon in car number 83. But unfortunately for Kinzer, later on as well, he runs into trouble in turn number 4. A tough break for the 20-time Outlaws champion, trying to reel in Jason Myers for the World of Outlaws Championship lead. Kinzer would wind up in 17th. As Kinzer falters, Myers drops the hammer down the back straightaway, pulling to the outside of the Steel City Outlaw into corner number 3. Myers, he would continue his assault on the field, diving to the inside of Schatz in turn number 1, trying to chase down race leader Joey Saldana. But that was just not going to happen. In his return, his very first start after returning from injury at Eldora Speedway, Joey Saldana streaks across the line for the victory. After suffering a shattered right forearm, a punctured lung, and broken ribs, Saldana bounces back for his 5th World of Outlaws win of the season over Jason Myers, Craig Delansky, Tim Schaefer, Donnie Schatz in the top 5 at Hartford Motor Speedway.
I have never been out of a sprint car this long, even when the season's over and we go home for Christmas and Thanksgiving. You know, that's 6-8 weeks, and then you're in New Zealand, Australia, and to be out almost 10 weeks. I was scared. You know, I didn't really know what to expect, and definitely hot laps, I didn't know what I was doing, but as the night progressed, I started to feel at home, and man, I just an awesome number 9 Red Bull team, and I'm just so fortunate to be a part of a team that's able to let me be a part of it. I mean, they could have easily moved on and gone with somebody else, and I can't thank Brad Sweet enough for filling in and doing a tremendous job, but this is what I love to do. I didn't want to sit out for 6 months and come back in Florida and try and race. I wanted to get myself back and come here and race and be competitive, and tonight we showed it, but I realize there's 9 more races to go, and I want to be like this every night, just not 1 out of 10.
Well, Saldana showed it again 2 days later. His return to Eldora Speedway, a track that has been feast or famine for him in the past. He sets quick time, would then finish 2nd in the dash to put him on the outside of row number 1 with teammate Paul McMahon on the pole and his other teammate Cody Darrer in the 91 starting to the inside of row number 2. And on lap number 1, Saldana goes right back where he left off at the front of the field, leading McMahon into corner number 1. The low rider Dale Blaney was looking good as well on Friday night. He pulls to the inside of McMahon as Paul pulls the crossover back down into corner number 3. Craig Delansky, once again a 9-time feature winner on the circuit this season. He does battle with Jason Myers in the DD&I number 14, but Myers again comes on late in the event, going around Delansky back underneath Blaney into the runner-up spot. But one more time, 2 nights in a row, Joey Saldana goes right back in the face of Eldora Speedway, returning to victory lane for win number 6 on the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series here in 2011. McMahon came home 2nd ahead of Myers, Blaney, and Craig Delansky in the top 5.
Joey Saldana back in victory lane here at Eldora Speedway. Joey, you got hurt during the Kings Royal. Could you ever have imagined you would have gotten back, won in the car 2 nights in a row so far?
No, not at all. I actually was hoping I could come into these last 2 races and just be a good solid top 10 and not disappoint my guys and Red Bull, and I just wanted a good solid finish to the last 10 races of the season, and to come out and do what we've done. my team has it. I just didn't think I had it. And I got to thank Jim Leo with Pit Fit. He, you know, he pushes me and took me to a different level. And in 3 weeks, he brought me to here. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I could have won tonight.
Okay, 2 years in a row, this track is finally, you know, kind of messed you up a little bit, and you've come back to win. You won here in May, now you've won here again. Do you love this track, Joey?
I love it. I mean, it's a track you got to respect, and I respect it. I watched my dad race here. It's one of the tracks that when I was little, I got to enjoy watching my dad. And back in them days, you had to respect not only the racetrack, but the race car. And so I learned back then that this could be a pretty tough track, and if you don't respect it, it's going to bite you. So it's bit me, but that's racing, and you just deal with it. Try to learn from it and get better.
What are the emotions now? 2 races in a row. You've come back 2 wins in a row. What are your emotions? Would you have ever dreamed you would have gotten this?
Well, I mean, I knew that we were capable of winning races. I mean, I've never been out of a car for 9.5 weeks before, and to come back and just go with the flow and everything just worked. And I mean, yeah, the pill draws have gone in our favor, but we've capitalized on them, and that's the trick out here, is doing the best job you can in every situation. And both nights, we did the best job in every situation, and we went forward, and that's what you got to do out here to succeed. And both nights we did it. But a lot of it's my team, my sponsor, Casey, believing in me, and when you have all that gelling, then you get results, and that's why we got the results the last 2 nights.
We'll be back with more next, right here on 4 Wide Weekly.
For nearly 4 decades, thousands have gathered at New York State Fairgrounds, awestruck as dirt racing legends race towards immortality. Start freezing! At Syracuse, October 5th through 9th is the 40th annual Super Dirt Week.
Danny's in the wall!
Make your plans now for an unforgettable experience. Tickets and remaining campsites on sale now at SuperDirtWeekOnline.com.
Welcome back to this week's edition of 4 Wide Weekly. Saturday night, the Outlaws made their return to Lernerville Speedway for the Commonwealth Clash. And the question was, could anybody stop Joey Saldana in the Red Bull number 9, coming off of 2 feature wins in a row? Well, Sam Haferteet Jr. and Sammy Swindell were definitely going to give it a try as they brought the field to green from row number 1. And it was Haferteet out in front, but slamming Sammy ducked to the inside out of turn 2, only to have Haferteet retake the lead into corner number 3. Unfortunately for Joey Saldana, the question at the top of the highlight was answered after a lap 1 caution, as engine woes on the Red Bull number 9 would sideline Saldana for the rest of the event. Once the race got back under green, Donnie Schatz found the outside of the speedway here as he charges to the outside of Double Down Jason's sides out of corner number 2. And while that battle was going on, Jason Myers and Sammy Swindell would do battle for the runner-up spot, as Haferteet was simply pulling away from the field, putting a lap on Cap Henry and the 89G of David Gravel. Schatz, meanwhile, really looking good to the outside out of turn 2. Here he swings to the outside of Swindell next, with Myers in his sights coming out of turn 4, but just as they get there, the 89G of Gravel spins right in front of your 3rd and 4th place runners. During that caution, Haferteet in the 15H pulled pit side, looking for his 2nd World of Outlaws win of the season. Engine troubles for the driver out of Sunnyvale, Texas. That would put Jason Myers at the top of the field, with Schatz hot on his heels out of corner number 4. Under long green flag stints, Schatz was definitely faster than Myers, and when they caught lap traffic, Schatz again pulls to the inside to try to take the race lead. But a caution comes out for a spun Kerry Madsen in turn number 4, and that would reset the field. After the restart, Myers, in a short stint of green flag racing, would again pull away from Schatz and move on to his 5th World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series win of the season as he climbs atop the wing of the number 14 machine in Lernerville Speedway victory lane. Schatz came home 2nd ahead of Swindell, Sides, and Craig Kinzer picks up his 5th top 5 of the season here in 2011. Steve Kinzer would come home in 7th, but falls to 3rd in the standings.
You know, this has always been a great race, a great racetrack, and to come out here and win again tonight and just get another win on the season, they're really hard to get this year, and we've been struggling to get them. We've been consistent, a lot of seconds. and just great to get a win here tonight for this entire team, DD&I Immediate Tile, GLR, All-Star, and just everybody, Carrillo, that supports us and makes this happen. These guys are doing a great job. We keep digging here and having good runs like this, and you know, racing's fun, but winning's really fun.
With a runner-up finish, Schatz moves to second in the Outlaws standings behind Myers. The Outlaws next in action, September 30th and October 1st, the National Open at Williams Grove Speedway. Then again, Saturday, October 8th at Super Dirt Week 40 at Rolling Wheels. We'll be back with more next, right here on 4 Wide Weekly.
Dirt racing's most celebrated stars. An electrifying atmosphere. Glory-filled heroics. A spectacle unlike any other. It's the World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, Late Models, and Super Dirt Big Block Modifieds converge for one mind-blowing weekend. 3-day reserve seat packages, including your free pit pass, are on sale now at CharlotteMotorspeedway.com. November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The Dirt Track at Charlotte.
Welcome back to this week's edition of 4 Wide Weekly. The UMP DIRTcar Late Models were also in action over the weekend, wrapping up week number 35 of their national late model tour across the country. And it was Brian Burkhofer and Shannon Babb leading the field to green in the 22nd Annual Prairie Dirt Classic. $10,000 on the line at Fairbury American Legion Speedway in Fairbury, Illinois. And Babb and Burkhofer, they would battle side by side through the majority of this event. Babb on the outside, Burkhofer on the inside. Trouble early on for the 25 of Jason Fager as apparent suspension issues on the back of that car as the body resting on the left rear tire. When the race got back under green, Ryan Unzicker, your UMP Late Model National Championship leader in the 24, began to make his presence known on the inside of the speedway, working underneath Burkhofer. Unzicker next would chase after your race leader Babb, taking the point going into corner number 3. Just as Unzicker moves to the race lead, Babb gets a flat tire coming out of corner number 4 to bring out the caution. The Moweaqua Missile, your Summer Nationals champion, now out of contention for the win. Meanwhile, Brian Burkhofer, he would find the middle part of the speedway one more time, coming back after your race leader Unzicker out of corner number 4. Burkhofer, the new race leader. But don't count out the 24 machine. Side-by-side racing through this entire event here at Fairbury as Unzicker would retake the lead out of turn 4. With all eyes on Unzicker and Burkhofer, some may have missed a charge being put on by defending Fairbury Speedway track champion Eric Smith in car number 9 as he pulls to the inside of Berkey out of corner number 4 to take the runner-up spot. Just laps later, however, Burkhofer, who had run great throughout the entire event, has to pull the number 15 machine pit side into corner number 3. That would leave the battle for the lead between Unzicker in the 24 and Smith in the 9. The driver from Bloomington, Illinois, finds the cushion into corner number 3. The 2010 and 2011 Fairbury American Legion Speedway track champion would take the race lead with just under 5 laps to go as the 9 machine storms on to the $10,000 payday in the Prairie Dirt Classic. Unzicker came home second ahead of Scott Bull, Derek Chandler, and Brandon Shepard. Looking at this week's 4Wide.tv power rankings, and who else but Joey Saldana leads the way after 2 consecutive World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series wins. Fellow Sprint Car A-Main winner Jason Myers sits in the 2nd spot, while Stefan LaFrance, your 358 modified feature winner from Cornwall, sits in 3rd. In the overall power rankings for the season to date, Josh Richards continues to lead the way by 12 points now over Jason Myers, who took over the runner-up spot this past week with his win at Lernerville Speedway. Matt Shepard falls to 3rd, while Donnie Schatz sits 4th ahead of Shannon Babb in your 4Wide.tv top 5. Be sure to tune in to next week's edition of 4 Wide Weekly as we bring you Friday and Saturday coverage of the prestigious National Open from the Williams Grove Speedway and the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series.